So here we are in the review space, and here is the Sparkless Seeker. So as I said before, if you missed it, I'm only going to be taking a look at the Sparkless Seeker, not the minicons. The minicons will be part 2, just so I can, just separately look at the details of the Sparkless Seeker, and in the part 2 I'll be looking at both minicons, and individually and stuff, so I can really focus on the details of each figure. But here he is, and before we take a look at him, let's take a look at the packaging. So here is the packaging. Pretty cool, pretty plain. We have a nice window there displaying everything. We have Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, and on the side we have the Sparkless Seeker. Honestly, for interpreting wise, if you just handed me this box and you didn't say what character it was, what the name was, you just said, what do you think that is? I would think probably it's just a ordinary Seeker, maybe even Starscream just in his black and white colors. So I do think they could have done a little bit better on the artwork with this, but overall, a pretty cool box. On the back, of course, here we have all the pictures of everything. Might be a little bit shiny or distorted because it is a kind of glossy box. But here we have the Seeker. He transforms into 24 steps. Here we have Sparkless Singe. He transforms into 5 steps. And here we have Sparkless Caliburst, which transforms into 6 steps. And the minicons, Singe comes with 2 blaster pieces, which are about green. And Caliburst comes with 1, which is purple. And that's pretty much it for the box. So let's take a look at the Sparkless Seeker. So hopefully you can see the details. I might have to move in or zoom in a little bit because you might be seeing kind of a blob. Hopefully you won't, because he has a lot of green and gray and brown, a lot of darker colors. So hopefully it's not too distorted or anything. Hopefully you can pick out all the details and sculpting details and stuff. But here he is. I think he's a pretty cool Seeker. I really do like the Seekers. Do I think they should make any more? Absolutely not. They should not. This was one of the last ones that I have not been able to get. I do have the Shutterglass Starscream on order, so I have collected them all. So far, they could make more. Hopefully they won't. They can revisit this mold, 5 years in the future, but for now, I think they're good. They don't need any in the next trilogy. I think we're good. But it is pretty cool to have a really big collection of this mold. Yes, there is too many, but I think it does look very cool. Very nice display piece. But here he is. Of course, he does come with his 2 null rays, which are just picked out in some kind of gray, greenish plastic, which does look pretty cool. Of course, you could attach a blaster piece on the ends of these. And we have a lot of brushwork and damage and kind of rust all over this figure, and I think it looks amazing. Some brown, kind of bronze there on the cockpit and crutch, and some on the legs. Some of the wings too, which is pretty nice. And here's the back. We do have some Decepticon symbols on there, which I kind of wish they didn't put those there, because in the show, if you watch Siege, spoiler alert, of course, in the scene when they were getting the Allspark, these sparkless bots rose from the dead, of course, because they wanted their sparks to be reborn. So they were really not classified as Decepticons or Autobots, so I kind of wish they maybe had not put those signs there. Maybe if they wanted to be kind of adventurous, they could have put an Autobot symbol on that side of the wing, and on the other side they could have been a Decepticon, because it's really up for your own interpretation of what side it's on. But pretty cool. I guess you could say that before it was Sparkless, it was a Decepticon Seeker, or some Transformer, but yeah, because I just wanted that, because with the previous Sparkless bots, there was no symbol or insignia on it at all. You was really up for your own interpretation, but yeah, not a big deal. But yeah, very nice brushwork and detailing all over the wings. Some more bronze there for the cockpit there. This engine section back there, which is pretty cool. And the head sculpts, I do quite like. The sculpting is very good. I do really just wish maybe they had better sculpting of it, because if you watch the show, he had most of the Sparkless spots, they did look, like zombies, like undead. They had, kind of purplish eyes and like glowing stuff on their face. This is more of a natural face, which I don't think it matches a Sparkless spot. I think it really just looks kind of like an ordinary Seeker. If you can see it, hopefully you can. It is just kind of a smirk with some red eyes, and the rest of it is really just kind of black. That's pretty much it. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't match the Sparkless concept. But there's all the details, lots of sculpting and stuff, looks really, really good. I will bring out, of course, the Sparkless bot in his vehicle mode for comparison for the Tetrajet mode for this figure. Feature-wise, you can of course have him hold his null rays, but that's not what they typically do in classic, Seekers, but they have done it in this show several times. But I always have to have him put them on the shoulders. That's how they naturally are. I think it looks pretty cool that way. But of course, it's your toy. Do whatever you wish. But there he is. So let's get into articulation. So I'm just going to take these off so they're not in the way. So head can rotate all the way around. It is a little tight back there because these pieces there, it can look up, it can look down. The arms can move out like that. Let's move the wings back so they're not in the way. You can move it out, you can move it down, it can rotate all the way around. There is a swivel and a bend. And hand articulation wise, there is some, you just gotta hold that piece there. It can rotate all the way around. So pretty good articulation for the arm. For the waist section, there is some articulation. It can move about that far. This little backpack section here kind of stops it, but still pretty good articulation. For the legs, there can be a knee bend, and it can collapse in because there is actually spring section here, so that is actually pretty cool. So you have some pretty good articulation there. There is a swivel, a very tight swivel. There we go. There is an ankle rocker pivot, not a ton, slight, nod, you could say, and it can kick pretty far forward. And the wings, typical articulation for the wings, they can move that far back, that far forward, and there is actually kind of a swivel at this pin right there, as you can see. So pretty good articulation in the wings for lots of really, really cool poses. So yeah, we already did a comparison for the robot mode. If you missed it, it was at the very beginning. I compared the Sparkless Seeker with all of the other Seekers that have been released so far. So if you missed that, make sure you go back to the beginning of the video. So I guess let's just get right into the transformations. So what you're going to want to do is get to the arms. You're going to bring in that hand. We all know this transformation, so hopefully I won't go too fast, because typically when I know a transformation very well in reviews, I'll go too fast. But bring that in on that hinge and then collapse it. Of course, do the same thing on the other side. So open up that panel, bring the hand in, bring that in, and collapse. And there are the arms all done. So you can kind of just move those however you wish so they're not in the way. And now you can unslide. There is this little panel right there. It is just slid between these two sections. You're going to unslide that. As you can see, there are some grooves in there, and there's tabs on this, so that just slides into place, which is pretty cool engineering. So now what you're going to want to do is there is a tab on this section and a slot on the back of the head. Hopefully you can see it. You might not be able to, but you can just tab that in, and there we go. And now you can bring these sections forward, and as you can see, there is a tab, and slot, and that will just slide and tap into place. So there you go. And now you can collapse this head in. It goes into that little groove back there, and then you can lift this section up. And I do want to compliment the Sparkless Seeker, because I think, if you collect any of the Siege Seeker mold, this panel is famous for being very loose and popping off. I transformed this figure several times, and it has not popped off once. Hopefully, I did not just jinx myself and it will pop off, but so far, it's pretty good. So now you can bring this section up so it's out of your way, rotate at the waist, like that, and you will use these little spring mechanisms here. In a second, you can collapse these feet like that to form the engines or boosters, whatever you want to call them. And now, so there's tabs on here, slots right there where my thumb was, and this will just slide right into place. And just hold that down, bring it in, just like that. So there you go. You can bring this section forward, And now we're in the final stages, so there is these tabs here on the side that will just go into these little sections here. Just clip right into place, which secures pretty well, just like that. So as you can see, nice and snug and fit. Do the same thing on the other side. You're going to want to get these slots, tabs. This will go right into place, just like that. And now you can bring the wings in. There is these tabs that will go right under there, just kind of a fit in there. Before you do that, and you can do this either way. You could do the front section first or this section. Either way, so you can tab. There is these tabs here and slots on the arm. Those will just tab in to place. Sometimes you gotta fit it. There we go. As you can see, nice and snug. And now you can do this front section. So this is how it is. This is how it was. So you just fit that in there. So again, you could do the front section or this back section first. Does not matter at all. So now you can bring this engine section. You want to do this section first, then this panel. So you're going to bring that in, collapse that, and then there's these tabs and slots on the inside of the panel, and that will just collapse into place. And there you go. So, success. The panel never fell off, and that is a huge accomplishment because it happens a lot with the other Seekers. I think they have slowly progressed with tightness of the joints over time. I think Starscream was probably the weakest in joint tightness, but still an amazing figure. But here he is. So again, hopefully the colors are not completely washed out. I did have my brightness a little bit higher, but not too high, because when you have your brightness on your camera and your lights too high, it will do the same. It will just flush the colors out. So I tried to find kind of a sweet spot in there where it would still show the colors, but also be very bright. But here he is. And the Tetrajet mode, and I think it looks so cool. Those Decepticon symbols are still visible from earlier. We have a lot of brushwork and rust and dirt and stuff on there. I think it looks really cool. I don't think it would make sense. I'm glad they didn't do this in the show. I don't think it would make sense for a Sparkless bot to be able to transform, or Sparkless Seeker, doesn't matter. I don't think it would make sense for it to be able to transform because it's Sparkless, but maybe it's possible. I don't know. We've never really explored into that lore of Transformers. But here it is. You can just plug these guns in. You can put them on the wings, or there is these ports here on the shoulders. I typically do this, but if you want more of a kind of an angled look, you can do that. So here's several ways you can do it. But I typically do it like this. I think it looks pretty cool that way. So there you go. And there is the Tetrajet mode fully complete. And I think it looks super cool. Really no articulation for it. There is, a lot of playability options. You can put Blastovic pieces in the back and in the guns to have a really cool action scene. Also, there is a really cool port there where you can have a flight stand plugged into so it can look like it's flying. And I think that's pretty cool. So let's get a comparison. Here we have the Sparkless Seeker and Sparkless Bots next to each other. And they both have pretty much the same kind of rusted look. His is more brighter, his is a lot darker, which I think it's nice how they're changed in color-wise. But yeah, odd that there's no symbol on this one, but there is a symbol on that one. I guess, it was kind of stupid of me saying it earlier, but I guess everyone assumes that the Seeker will obviously be a Decepticon, but no one's ever said that there's an Autobot Seeker, so I guess it is a possibility. I just thought, since it's a Sparkless bot, it's not really a part of a faction, it just wants to live again, But I guess these are the symbols from before when it died, when it had a spark, But that looks pretty cool together. I'll get a side view like that. So there we go. So, I think that's really it for this review. I think overall, it's a pretty good figure. I think most people had the problem with the face. It just did not resemble the sparklessness, you know, from the show. I think they did pretty good with the head, with the sparkless spot. It was dark and withered and kind of misshapen. I think they should have done that with this. Like, they could have had maybe, like, you know, one eye was just, there wasn't even eye, it was just the socket maybe, or maybe it was kind of melted or something, or there was like parts of it damaged. You know, they can do that. I know they can do that. Like with the Studio Series, they made, you know, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, they gave him his damaged head, so I know they can do that kind of detailed head sculpting work. So I think they could have taken the extra mile and done it with this. Am I surprised they didn't do it? No, because it is a repaint. But overall, it's really enjoyable to get the Seekers because I love the Tetrajet modes. They look amazing. I would honestly love to have duplicates so I could have them in their robot and jet modes because that just looks so, so cool. Just to have like an entire fleet of these. Will I do a stop motion of this? Probably people are wondering. I don't think I will, because if you didn't see, several weeks, maybe a month ago, I think, I did a stop motion of all the Seekers, of course, before we knew about this one. All the Seekers previous of this one in a stop motion. I transformed them all at the same time. That was a ton of work. So, if you guys really, really want me to do a stop motion of this, of course, I will. But am I compelled to right now? Not really. But maybe I will do kind of a duo Sparkless bot and Seeker stop motion. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could do a really short one where he doesn't even transform. This just like a short battle or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Overall, pretty cool Seeker. Highly suggest to get it. Some people think it's dumb to get all the Seekers. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, again, they don't need to make any more. So I think that's it. So I'll see you next time.